So this is a really interesting development in the world of Nick Rekieta, we'll say. Do you guys remember it was around March 22nd or May 22nd of last year? It was right around then, right around May 22nd, like maybe that night and going into 21st. 20th and 21st, I think it was. I was on a bunch of substances and a lot of alcohol, and I had a stream that kind of was a disaster. And because of that stream, I would be arrested a couple days later. Maybe you guys have heard about it. I'm not sure. So one of the things I was doing on that stream, if you guys remember, was there is a judge who I said was a bad judge who didn't know the law, didn't know shit. Actually that I also said, although this is unverified, these are unverified rumors, that liquor pours out of her lady bits. I think I said, and I was like, where did I come up with that? Like, that's really weird. I probably need more therapy. So anyway, there's a news article from one day ago about that judge. It's really weird. Here, I'll show you guys. Look at this shit. Judge Fischer, Jennifer Fischer, not Jenna Fischer. She's from The Office. Jennifer Fischer faces formal misconduct complaint. Look at this shit. The Minnesota Board on Judicial Standards has filed a formal complaint with the Minnesota Supreme Court against District Court Judge Jennifer K. Fischer of Kandiyohi County, citing misconduct and retaliation. Hold on. Hold up. So here's how this works. It's like the ethics board for the lawyer's professional responsibility office. There's the Board on Judicial Standards. And what they do is people submit complaints to them about a judge, and then they make an evaluation and then a recommendation. That recommendation is then taken to the Supreme Court, and in the case of a judge in the Supreme Court will then make a determination on their recommendations. I didn't have anything to do with this, but look at what she's accused of. The complaint alleges Fischer violated a 2023 disciplinary agreement. So while I was saying this is crazy. While I was saying this, she was doing the shit I was saying. She was doing her bad behavior and had to sign a disciplinary agreement in 2023. And then she violates that agreement by retaliating against colleagues and attorneys who had cooperated in a prior investigation. She's accused of filing baseless complaints, making inappropriate statements about other judges' mental health and addictions, and displaying erratic courtroom behavior. It's almost like I was vulgar and I was profane, but I was telling the truth. In her response, Fischer has since been removed from all hearing duties and reassigned to administrative work. In her response, Judge Fischer denied wrongdoing and claimed the case as retaliation for whistleblowing in her past medical leave. A special panel will now be appointed to review the case and recommend possible sanctions. So she's fighting this. But guys, you know what's crazy? Let's take a moment here. This judge is accused of retaliating against people and displaying erratic behavior. This judge issued a warrant based on a video in which I made very specific, very vulgar comments about her. I'm supposed to believe that a judge who signed a warrant request in 4 minutes had no idea about the vulgar personal comments that I had made about her by name. Okay. So I'm going to be monitoring this judge's disciplinary action very, very closely. K. Michael 456 says you plead so it doesn't matter. Oh, it might matter. It might matter. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. This is very, very fucking interesting to me. And I'm very interested in how it turns out. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not fucking crazy. I may be a jackass. I may have been completely out of control at the time, and I was. And my, obviously my biggest regret is how it ended up impacting my family life. That's the biggest regret from all of that. But this shit was happening. It was happening with that person. Our judge is literally fucking stupid. I'm going to say it. Jennifer Fischer, Chief Judge of Wilmer, Minnesota, Candy, Ohio County, is touched not by an angel, not even by a priest, but probably by retardation. She does not know basic facts or elements of common law. She doesn't know Minnesota statutory law. When she tries to apply the law to facts, and I know this from previous cases with her, by the way, she gets it wrong. And you know it's crazy. I know what people are going to say. Those cases that I had in front of Jennifer Fischer, the chief judge of Candy, Ohio County, when she applied basic common law principles on contract, incorrect. She applied because she said, I can do whatever I want, basically. She was not, at that point, judging in the district court. She was judging at the small claims court level. She said, no, that's not how contracts work. I'm like, Judge, that's how contracts have worked for 450 years. You don't get to just change that. Like, we win. Guess what happened? We won the next time we got to the hearing. Because like any boring, stereotypical woman, they will sit there and tell you why you're wrong over and over and over again. But lo and behold, if you just wait a day, they'll come around to your thing and they'll go, you know what? You said I said you were wrong, but you weren't wrong. I just really love the taste of liquor being squeezed out of my vagina. And then they drink it. And then they do whatever. And I'm just sitting here going, most of the judges in Candy, Ohio County are men. How are they going to squeeze vagina liquor into my mouth? I don't want them to. What am I, Zach Galifianakis? Am I Barack Obama? Am I Joe Biden? No. I do not want man juice in my mouth. So I go, can you just apply the fucking law? Can you just apply the fucking law? And when they do, they go, holy shit. It supports Nick's client. Here's the thing. I'm not a good lawyer. I didn't win because I came up with a novel legal argument. Literally, my clients have good cases. And I go, this person didn't hire that person. They hired someone else. Talk to someone else. Person A did not hire person C. Person A hired person B. Person B quit. Person C sues person A. Person C is not in the company of person B. The court's like, well, why are you there? Like, because these people are working in my house. It should be simple. But why are you there? Why are you in town? Why are you fighting this? I don't know. Freedom matters. My rights matter. If you don't fight the government, they get to just say whatever they want. This is prosecutors, guys. Every bad defense attorney is 2 times better than the best prosecutor. You're sitting here. Anybody who's sitting here going, the state is right. Okay. Die. Die. The state is right. You want the government controlling what you do and say? Because the government would rather have people who are not literally raped by federal officers be able to say anything. When they go to say anything, they shut down their testimony. Like, well, we want them to say everything. Yes, we want them to say everything, but they don't. Charlie says you're getting bent over with diameter, all because some ego and pride. Man, this is crazy. All right. Tell me more about my ego and pride, brother. I don't give a shit. People always say what they want to say. It doesn't matter what you say. So say it. You want me to fight you on it? I'm not a narcissist.